Welcome back to this giant pile of Princess of Power. Today, we've got the Emperor. He's gonna need subjects. It's Leech time. This one I am looking forward to. Let's do it. Leech is one of those things that absolutely defines the Horde. Like, when I think about the Horde, I think of two things. One, the Horde troopers, the Star Wars of it, right? These are stormtroopers that they come down in mass waves, they take over the planet, they invade, they corrupt, they force into the Empire, and anybody unwilling not to be a part of that body is wiped from existence. We're talking about entire universal claim. The Horde has spread across the galaxy, wiping planet after planet after planet, including their attempt at Eternia, where the citizens of Eternia gathered together and fought them back, forcing them from the planet. And during that time, they steal Adora. We know the story. The second thing I think about is horrific, monstrous mutants. Like, it always comes to mind. Those are the two things. I think about horrific, monstrous mutants leading Horde troopers. It's like 300. I hadn't even considered that until just this second, but like, it's like 300. There are thousands of troops that come down in 300 upon the Spartans. And if you're watching, these troops are usually uniformed. They're all like the Immortals or whatever, and they look a certain way. And oftentimes they will pull with them some sort of monstrous creature or something that would be considered a monster to those shores. And I hadn't really stopped to think about that yet, because like in the major fight that you see, like in the big battleground fight towards the beginning, they bring that one crazy giant guy that, you know what I'm talking about, like with the shark teeth and everything, and he's screaming and he fights Leonidas, and like, that's what I feel like. And I hadn't even considered that yet. But yeah, a bunch of Horde troopers would be there, and they would be led by Catra, a woman that like literally turns into a panther and runs the battlefield. They would be like led by Leech, this literal monstrous creature that if he got a hold of you, he would literally drain the life out of you. They would be led by Grizzlor, like this giant half-man, half-bear monster man thing. Like, that's crazy. Now I'm literally looking at Eternia as 300. I can't help it. Like, now I'm thinking about the Horde coming in massive waves where they have so many people, they could literally claim our arrows will blot out the sun. And yet this small band, this one planet, stood against the Empire and pushed it back. I'm kind of amazed. I never would have made that. That shocks me. I just tied Motu in with 300. And at least for me, made it make sense. I love this property. There's like nothing that doesn't fit. It's mind-blowing to me what you can get away with inside of Motu. Let's check this out. Okay, so in terms of the box, there's a couple things I want to point out. We have that Scorpina. I think that's her name. I can't remember for sure. She is on the box. So perhaps a hint that we have a Masterverse version of her coming. And the other thing that I definitely wanted to point out is right here. That's Adora. Are we going to get an Adora? We got an Adam for Masterverse. I've yet to open him. I own him. I've yet to open him. But like, are we going to get an Adora? Because that would be truly awesome. Who knows? Otherwise, cross-sell, we have Thunder Punch He-Man, we have Emperor Hordak, Leech, Cyclone. We have all of them. Every single video is up now. You could watch the entire wave review right now on this channel if you choose to. Let's open him up. There's nothing more to delay here. Let's see him. Okay, there's Leech. There he is. He's awesome, man. Look at this guy. We got a lot of skin texture here, like weird, ugly bumps and everything like that. We got the Horde symbol right here, which I'm liking quite a bit. I love this Horde symbol on almost everything. But here's the star, man. Look at this ugliness. Look at that inside there. Oh, man. That's terrible. Like, the tongue is all bumpy and gross. You have all these teeth and, like, look at the lips. They went to the trouble of, like, making that really nasty and everything. Like, the side of his head, the back of his head. There's a lot of texture. There's a lot to see here in terms of, like, how ugly this guy is. And he should be. He should be a monstrous thing, right? Because he's Leech, and that's what he is. This guy's awesome, man. Like, I'm really impressed. I like this right here. Sorry, get the focus back. I like these, like, straps. I like this right here on the armor. They went through, there's a nice texture here. And then, of course, we have the Horde symbol. And then this very much looks right. I mean, it looks like an armor and everything like that going across his back. I love this backbone type of thing that's going on. And, of course, this neck brace area thing that's right here. I also like that. I also enjoy the gauntlets. There's little bones, not gauntlets, but the leg pieces here, the shin guards or whatever. There's like these little dog bone, like human bones or whatever you want to call them. And then there's, of course, a Horde symbol, like this metal brace thing down here. And then he's got these ugly feet, and the feet are also suction-y things too. So if he jumps up and, like, if he kicks you, he will like suck away your life force and you will be doomed. If he grabs you, he will suck away your life force and you will be doomed. If he bites you, he will suck away your life force and you will be doomed. This guy is just dangerous to be close to at all for any amount of time or reason. Like, he is just a scary, monstrous, ugly thing, and I love him for that. Like, with his feet too, I think he can actually take easy poses like this on the regular, where you don't have to try very hard to keep him standing in like a monstrous pose. Now, he does come with 2 items. He comes with this whip thing right here, which is kind of cool. It's got a Hordak's face, of course, because, you know, praise be to Emperor Hordak. And it is like a whip thing. And it's not like a string. I actually like this a lot better than the string whip. Though you could argue this being like a wire whip would have been a big deal too, because then I could have actually, like, how do I put this? Like, so it clips here on his wrist, which is nice because he doesn't have hands. And there, he's got this crazy whip. But, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that visually, because, like, if I do any pictures with it, it's very limiting. I would have to very much, like, have something like this where it's already stretched out and then, like, wrap it around somebody's hand or something like that. Because it's just the way that it is, it's just very limiting. So we'll kind of put that back like this. So he's got it or whatever, and he still kind of looks monstrous, and he's kind of got some action going, some dynamic to him. And he also came with this, the standard bow of the Horde. I think this is, like, given out as a regular weapon, like a standard weapon of the Horde. I really think it is, because I see it on a lot of different characters. And same thing, this clips right on his wrist here. So there he is. He could literally... let's get his arm out and everything. There's this ugly mug shooting arrows, being terrifying, coming at you. He is really awesome. Like, really awesome. I'm happy with him. If I have to complain about something, it's something nitpicky and kind of funny. Practically, and I'm entering territory now that is laughable. It is laughable. We laugh about how ridiculous, because you should never take this material this seriously. But on a practical aspect, how does he like... They didn't give him human-y hands, which means that these sucker things are all that he actually has. And now, once again, going back to 300, it's just like when you see those creepy guys in 300s where they where they only have like blades for hands. Like, how do they live? How do they like do normal activities for their time when they only have like swords for hands? And you get what I'm talking. He has like sucker things for hands. I mean, they guess they got some give in him, so maybe he could pick some things up and whatnot and do some things. But like, he has a whip thing. Now, if he's just a monster that they feed and take care of and things like that, basically like a sentient monster, and that's what he is, and he's a mutant, then we don't ask too many questions. But like, how does his bow work? How's he shoot it? It's like a plasma thing. It doesn't shoot an actual... Maybe because it's a technology, he can kind of aim it and somehow it senses. They're way ahead of us in technology. They've mastered space travel and universal expansion. I'll put it as nice as I can. So I guess it's fine. It's just like one of those funny things. Sometimes when I look at him, I get myself lost in, how does he work? Like, at the end of the day, after we've had our cool fight, and we've done, like, cool horde stuff with our, like, fantasy barbarian tales, how do you do, like, life things, Leech? Like, I know that you could talk, but, like, how's the rest of your life work? In the universe that you live in, under the stipulations that you live, how do you do all your life stuff? Like, how do you maintenance your bow and your weapons and your armor? I guess you don't have to do that. I don't know. It's just, he's one of those few characters that for some reason I look at him and I think he's really cool and I think he's awesome. And then I kind of backtrack and go, how do you do things? I don't know why, but he's one of those characters that gets me thinking about the practicality of the universe. Because he's really cool. I really like him. He makes a lot of sense. He is cool. But then I guess there are people in that universe that they only have, like, claw hands. And that's not even in the Empire either. We're talking about, like, on Eternia, there are people that, like, live their entire life and they only have, like, claws for hands. They're just like, tink, 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 tink. Motu is weird. And I love it for it, to be fair. So I'm not complaining by any means, but Motu can be weird when you really stop and wonder, like, when these guys sit down at the end of the day and they're no longer, like, battling and being crazy barbarian things, how does, like, regular life work? We see regular life for, like, Adam and people like that in the universe that they live in, and it makes sense and it works. We even sometimes see regular life for people like Skeletor and whatnot. We see how that works. Or like other wizards and whatnot off in the far reaches of Eternia and things like that. But we never really do focus episodes for a guy like Leech, who I can't help but wonder how his like stuff works. Because like, can he eat regular food? Or do they have to like supply him? That's a rabbit hole of disaster that I shall not go down at this current moment in time. But just know that my mind has slightly went there. And a day in the life of Leech almost seems terrifying. Which I guess works perfectly, because he's Leech, right? I'm gonna get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.